Well, hello. Today we are making homemade chicharrones or pork rinds. So get excited. It's going to be this is going to be a multi-step, long-term creation. So first thing to get out is my chopping board here, and then I'm going to start a pot of water boiling on my left because I do want to boil the skins, get all the fat off and stuff. So I'm going to get my big kind of all-used pot. This baby, fill it with water. While that's filling, I'm gonna get out my pork rinds. I mean, gosh, there's still some belly meat on here. Maybe I'll fry that up, do something with that. You know, you got them from that sketchy part of the market where there's literally no expiration date on here or packed by date. Just pork rinds. Enjoy. Anyways, get excited though because this should be pretty yummy. I don't know if I need that much water. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to start this nice and slow in the back over here. Let's get that water boiling. And then we're going to start laying out these pork rinds. I'm going to cut as much of the fat as I possibly can. Is this one I open? No, there's the one I open. There's still meat on here, which is crazy. I feel like I should put that to use somehow. So I'm going to give these they're going to get a rinse anyways. Man, I don't know how much of this fat I'm going to be able to get off until after I kind of cut it. And it is really on there, isn't there? So they say the helpful thing is to cut it into long kind of 2-inch strips and try to get as much of the fat off as possible. Otherwise, after I boil it, I can cut the fat off. So I'll try to sharpen this as much as I can. Smoking here. So I'm gonna cut that in half. That's skin. There's some the pig's tattoo there, but I don't think that matters. I don't think it's gonna get me sick. Right? Of course not. Of course not. So I'm just gonna kind of cut this into 2-inch strips. Wow, that really cuts hard. That's crazy. I should get a way sharper knife, but damn. I gotta think I cut it from this side here. Jeez, well, I'm just gonna strip that out. Instant Novelith! How's it going, Novelith? Good to see you. I can see why they boil it first. I might just do that technique fully. Notif works. Yeah, I know. Cat Dog helped me get the Notif working again. So I'm going to try to kind of get as much of the fat off as possible. I don't know if I can't. It'll just literally just like a boning knife. Okay. You know, a lot of people say you should keep the fat, render it into lard, but I'm lazy, so I'm just going to throw it away. That seems about kind of what I'm looking for, though, and then I can scrape the rest of the fat off. This little piggy. That's crazy. Alright. So I want to render this into lard now. Kind of just want to get as much of the fat off as I can now. I'm just going to start chopping these into little pork rind bits. I don't know if I should do them like this. I kind of like having the long strips and then cutting them later, so I might do that. So I'm just throwing them into a pot of water over to my left. This one I'm going to cut a little bit with this fat off because there is a ton. I feel like that's just going to be too much. Getting most of it off is good. Man, that looks like good bacon though, right? Maybe I'll keep this this particular piece. Well, I'll keep some of it. I will say that technique of just cutting into strips and just kind of working off the rest of the stuff is a good technique. But if it works, I know. I'm so excited. How's life, Novelith? What's new? I'm going to try to slide this over here so I can make sure that everything's good. Okay, so this looks like good meat. So I'm going to throw that in a Ziploc because, I mean, you can always, this looks like bacon. And I love bacon. So, I'm going to try to leave the strips like that when I boil them. Let's see if I'm wrong. I was wrong to do so, but I'm going to do it anyways. How's this? I hope that's warming up. I'm just going to leave this as a big strip. Whatever. Alright. Alright. 99% of that fat off. I think I just scraped the rest down. That's not got too much, so I'm just going to get rid of that fat. Did I actually get to the skin? Okay, not even close. That's great. I can really just get as much down as I can. Alright. Another rind ready to go. Because I'm a big fan of brining, I don't know if it'll make a darn bit of difference. But, you know, whenever you're going to boil meat, you may as well just put a bunch of salt in there and put some brown sugar in there. You know what I'm saying? So here's my boil. That's my cook pot right there. It's pretty hot. So I'm just putting some salt and some brown sugar, you know? Maybe I'll just put some molasses. Nothing crazy. A little bit of sriracha, just a little bit of flavor, just to keep my pork rinds flavorful from the start. You know, I'm weird like that. It's not, you know, it's not Jeffrey's cooking if there's not some like weird additions, you know? Alright. You know, I don't know if I need to boil it if I'm cutting off the fat this thoroughly, so I'm going to test one strip where I don't boil it. I just cut off all the fat, just like I'm doing here. We'll see what happens, see how it comes out. I'm going to try to do a few tests, because it's the first time making chicharrones, so I kind of want to, you know, experiment just a little bit. Get as much of that fat off as possible. And that's the first chich. That's the first chicharrone. I don't like like this moving cooking surface, but this cutting board. As long as I cut away from myself, I'll probably be okay. Cool. All the pig skin, folks. Okay. I mean, I may even leave one with all the fat on, and that'll be cracklings. Pork cracklings. So yeah, we're just getting all this fat off as much as we can. That looks pretty dang clean. I mean, I don't know. There's a little bit of fat left. Maybe this will be one of the ones I save and I just dehydrate on its own. I'll put that back in the... That's as clean as it gets, I feel like, in terms of cuts. Jeez. That is definitely not the best. I hate this little cutting board. Probably need to sharpen that knife up again. Totally just had pork rinds today. It's a very good paleo snack. And since Fox and I are doing paleo, we figured we might I have a knife sharpener. An actual one, an actual stone. But I've just not used it. It's my own fault. It's my own damn fault. This whole pickle, you know, I'm just going to throw these in here because that's pretty minimal fat. Suddenly sharper. Might be out of fingers by then. God, true story. How do I want to do this? Lengthwise. Yeah. But not homemade. I feel like homemade chicharrones are supposed to be a legendarily delicious snack. So that's one of the reasons I'm trying this out. Because it's one of the ones that, even though it is very difficult and taxing to make at home, it's supposed to be quite rewarding if you do so. It's supposed to be well worth the effort. Why isn't that boiling? Put a lot of water in there. So it's a lot of energy, I guess. I got some good kind of skin ready here. This I'm going to test, see if I can just do it without having to go through this boiling process. This stuff is going to go through the boiling process because that's, from what I hear, the most consistent way is to kind of boil the fat off. As much as you can, but I feel like I'm getting 99.99% of the fat off doing this method. Taxing though it is, and probably a little bit harder for lack of a really good knife. Maybe that'll be the next Twitch gift someone can get me, is a good knife. Nike Easy, how's it going? Get excited. Making some chicharrones. I'll just cut those up after. So I gotta let that boil for almost an hour. Crazy. We're getting there, folkies. We're getting there. I feel like there's still some fat on there, which I'll probably have to scrape off after I boil. Man, if I was making homemade lard, I would not be throwing any of this away, but unfortunately I'm not. I guess I'll cut this one off, and I'll keep some for me. For some bacon or something. Just throw it in the toaster oven and see what happens, maybe. Alright. Oh, that's right. Them pork rinds will fight you. What's also probably fun for you guys is we will be doing some writing while these boil for an hour or two, and then I'm going to throw them probably in the oven overnight to dehydrate. So hopefully I don't burn my house down. I don't think I will. I don't think I will. I'll burn my apartment down. Big difference. I'm keeping some of the good bits over here. Great, that's starting to boil. Yeah, I feel like that's going to need boiling. Yeah, this one I might just throw in. It just looks like a pain in the butt to scrape down. That's pretty minimal in terms of fat. It's not much, is there? Gosh, you really just can't cut the skin from that side. It's too tough. It's a fascinating process. How much you have to do to get the pork skin to be palatable. So how's everybody's writing going? How about that seems to me like, no, he's gonna fry the rinds in that. Fry the rinds in creme brulee. No. The rinds are gonna happen tomorrow. That's how long it takes to make these stinkers. Because they will have to, I think, pretty much dehydrate overnight. Almost. On a very low heat. But they will. I was thinking the same. I was confused for a bit. Well, I apologize. Yeah, that's my creme brulee. That's my creme brulee. I'm gonna put these. These are the ones I just trimmed down really tightly. I'm just gonna put these over here after the boiling's done. All right, 2 more packs here. Hooray. So I'm gonna butcher this a little bit. There's a lot of meat on there. It's a bit funky smelling. I don't like that there's still some raw meat on here. And that's not great smelling raw meat. It's the downside of the Chinese market, I guess, or the Japanese market. I think I'm going to throw this chunk away. I'd rather be safe than sick. Smells a little funky. Not bad, but just pork you don't want to screw with, you know? All right. Japanese market? Yeah, I went to Nyaja Market. Or actually, Ranch 99. Sorry, Ranch 99 is where I went. I think Ranch 99 is Chinese based. I'm not sure, though. Those are all getting boiled. I always assume Chinese and you'll be correct. 90%.